Hey there. So we are back for another midsummer tour of the farm. We are in full swing on many different things. We are getting this place together, okay? Lots of cutting going on. The sun is out today and it's just about August. So we're like in the down season of what's growing because it's super hot. This week is supposed to be the hottest week in Alabama, like heat index and whatnot. Thankfully, it's gonna rain too. But we're essentially in the process of like flipping beds and planting new things for the late summer and fall and doing a lot of grass cutting. So I'm gonna give you a tour of where we are now. Thanks for watching. Okay. So first things first, we've talked a bit about the barn and we're still in the process of like getting this thing together. I think I'm at the point now where I'm going to just break down and let a contractor come in, work on this, because the quicker that this part is done in the front where you see that's framed, the quicker we could like stabilize living other than where our container is. And we got a place to stay, which is a blessing. But it's like, hey, it would be super cool to just wake up here and then do the work we got to do and then go about your business. So more to come on that. We've cleared a few trays. This is like our makeshift greenhouse area. We've cleared a few trays. The basil, which I'll show you in a minute, is doing really well. Tulsi, holy basil. We've done a lot of cutting back here, and then we put these two sheets or like floor, they look like what you use like at a gym or something, but put these down so we won't have to mow right here as much, and just kind of clean this area up. This tree right here, it's like a stump, but it started growing into a tree because clearly fertile soil, so we do need to cut that. And then another project likely for the summer, fall, late summer, early fall is getting this stuff out of the way. Probably getting rid of some of it, selling some of the metal, and then maybe stacking some more up just so we have like extra materials. So more to come on that. Anywho, so back here we got elderberry, and then these are tomatoes, and then this is collard greens. And then that is kale with the okra poking out. And this right here is oregano. So some of that is still there. But this is where we've been starting stuff. It's time to do another clipping under it. So I'm not going to do that today, but definitely this week sometime. This is a pepper plant that we pulled up, and corn that hasn't gone down yet. I don't know if it's going to make it down. And then my favorites, here is some broccoli or cabbage that we planted at the beginning of the year, and we just water everything or let the rain water in it, and it's growing. So it's like, it's time to put that stuff down. Oh wow, look at this one. Look at that pretty. Anywho, but yeah, things just thrive. Cabbage and collards are really resilient, so I think it is cool. Like this one, I think this is broccoli, but it's like if we go ahead and put some of these down now, they'll be thriving in the fall. So this is what was seed. Started it in the trays a few weeks, really like a month or so ago, and they stayed in the trays too long. Finally got them in this raised bed that I had, and these two rows are Italian Genovese basil, just like Eden that you eat, and then these are holy basil. It's Tulsi, or it's known as Tulsi. It's super medicinal, super good for you. They smell so good. And so this area, we got a push mower, which I've been playing around with. We both been playing around with it, and it works pretty good. We still need to cut this area, but I ain't tripping about it for now, but just a little bit at a time. But I wanted to clear this part where we have our side door, screen door, so we could just easily come out. So David broke up the snake plants. Snake plants are super resilient, okay? They're great for inside, for cleaning the air. We're gonna put them inside when it gets cold outside, but when I first packed them up moving from my house in December, we just kind of neglected them, and it was cold outside, so what we thought they died, but really they just drew back some, and they came back. This is moringa, which is doing really good. He separated those out. Another moringa miracle tree. Okay, here's another moringa. We literally planted this in April, and look how much of a tree it already is. This is great for teas. You can sprinkle it on your food and your smoothies. It has all the nutrients in it that you need. It's literally my miracle herb of the earth. Okay, this is an orange tree, and I think this might be an orange tree, and then that's orange, and then this is probably a mango. This is nothing, and I need to plant a Cuban oregano that we were gifted from a friend. So this is the avocado tree. Is doing really well, okay? And again, this is another one. We're gonna place it inside when it gets cold. We got, you see this pokeweed. This is like a natural video for another day, because I don't know all the things to do with it, but I know it's poisonous. But the elders say when you cook it, and you can make a tea or a poke sandwich, the poke salad, but you need to like work with the herb, because it's poisonous on its own, but when you cook it, then it becomes very medicinal. This is our orange tree. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, it was also looking very dormant, and it's grown very nicely out here, full sun. Okay, we got basil here. That's doing lovely. And again, I need to plant some new stuff. This is okra here. Hibiscus. Hey y'all. Hibiscus. And then we got collard greens, tomatoes here. I'm all in the way. And then this is black eyed peas. So several things growing. This is just like what will be like a patio at the house, and right now it's a lot of cool things growing there because it's full sun. It's very easy to water, and we've just been cleaning this area up. In my last video you would see this part back here. It was a hot mess of grass, but we just been breaking through it, and we need to do the other side of the barn soon. Let me also show you where we did the Three Sisters, but we really overplanted it. But I still have faith that the peas will come through. We harvested a little bit of squash, but it was so wet and rainy at the like June that it probably just like wiped out the plant, which is something that happens for these cow peas or black eyed peas. I'm not sure why they not coming up, but we claiming they're just going a little slow. And in the middle, David planted corn, and so he's harvested those. We just waiting on the peas to pop up. So we're just gonna give them a little time to do their thing, and hopefully we get what we need from them. I'm gonna go ahead and water these plants I just showed you, and then we'll continue the tour. Say hello to the tractor. He's been fixed up, okay? David's gonna do some bush hogging. We need to clear this area out right here because that's where our compost is. I definitely shouldn't have let it overgrow this way because compost is costly. It's one of the major like inputs that we have out here. So it shouldn't be too much to break up the brush around it and get to the compost. But this is the next set of things to be cut though. And I don't know if I've talked about our container. This is our shipping container we're converting slowly but surely into a tiny home. So it's been a cool process so far. Just being patient and doing a little bit at a time, because we could not focus on this as much as we had been because it was planting season and we were being shuffled around. And so this part is now next to cut, next to the barn. The well is back there, so we'll get to that soon. And in front of here, it's just gotten a little wild. We've been professional lawn mowers. So let me go ahead and start watering, and then I'll show you the next section. Okay, so now we're on the far end of the field and it is super hot, but say hello to our friends. They have their tiny house going. It's super cute. The tiny mansion, okay, because it's big. This is the area where we had broccoli. We've done a couple things over here, but right now it's peppers and beautiful okra, okay? So this is the last row technically in our field, and I'm claiming it's gonna go crazy. We're gonna keep mulching it and figuring out the rows. We're gonna figure out some wood chips. We got these peppers, bell peppers growing. We planted those a while ago. Then we got these tall pepper cayenne long slim. Okay, these, and we wait for them to turn red. We've been putting them in the CSA box. Okay, okra. I love how their leaves look. This is a big okra that made it originally because we put these out when we put down onions in March, or really early April. So the okra didn't go because I'm pretty sure it was just too cool. And okra likes it hot. Look at that big old grasshopper. Or whatever that is, honey. Praying man, I don't know. They big. So, more okra, more okra. So, I'm just about to water this. And then probably, it's going to be a really wet week this week and a really hot week. So, and I also think the rabbits, look at this one, don't have no stems. I think the rabbits be eating them. But we're going to mulch, continue to mulch these. And then once the okra is finished, we might even do it over 2 rows. But over this section, we need to tarp this. So we weed-eated a lot of it, but we need to do some more. Okra grows really fast, so you have to make sure you harvest or they get too big and then they're too hard to eat. But you can always use it for seeds for your next planting. So I would say it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's probably like 20 or 30 okra plants. And so they doing all right. So that's for that. And then we still got a little of like naturally growing things. We got the Japanese, look at me forgetting the name as we right here, honeysuckle, Japanese honeysuckle. It smells so freaking yummy, and people say if you like put it on your tongue, it's real sweet. I hadn't done that yet, but I love to smell it. It's like super refreshing to smell. So let's go over to the greenhouse where we just got this part cut finally, and need to cut some more over this part. This is a section of cucumbers. Okay, and we're gonna string these up, probably not today, but we'll start on it this week, and we can string these up essentially like the tomatoes. We've gotten, I think we planted these or put these down sometime in April, and we started them from seeds in a tray, and then we put the tray out, and so they've been producing beautifully. I'm so grateful for the harvest each time. It's so, like, it's just an abundant amount of cucumbers, and they're so good. So I'm grateful for these. Okay, We've been loading our CSA boxes up with them. So as you can see, the grass has taken over this area, but we still fighting for it. Here's some peppers that are coming in. So we make sure to keep the area watered. I had a banana pepper plant over here somewhere, but I don't know where she is now. But here's another bell pepper plant in the light. And then here's some more bell peppers. It's really interesting because it takes peppers a really long time to go to seed. Here's some peppers here. It takes them a really long time to go to seed. And really like longer than most of the other things we planted. So that was interesting waiting on, but something I'll know for sure like next year. Here is basil, which is phasing out. It smells good. So yummy. We've harvested an abundant amount of that this year. Look at that spider. Ooh-wee. So more bell peppers. And then we have our tomatoes, which I think are mostly struggling because it's getting too much rain in here. And really this is supposed to be covered, but it's just, the cover came off and we need to redo it. So we got to restring these up, but at least the grass is down. And I'm gonna run my mower through here, so we ain't even got to worry about that. I think we weed-eated this. And so down here it just gets wild, but we're gonna tarp this over as well. So basically this crazy grass has served as a cover crop. And down there, at one point we had Swiss chard and arugula planted. I don't know if the Swiss chard did anything, but the arugula did something. We were able to include that in a box for a week. Maybe, I think it might have been 2 weeks, but definitely a week. So this area is where we've silage tarped, and I need to move those down to where we're naturally suppressing the weeds for a few weeks or a few months so that we don't have as much weed pressure. As you can see, weed pressure. We only were able to do this one for like a couple weeks, and then we moved the tarp because it was going to be a rainstorm. So I kind of regret making that decision, but we always have time to do it now or later for the next season. So we're going to be planting some greenery or something in that area. And then here you can see it just gets wild. We silage tarped this area a few weeks back. And so we uncovered it last week to plant pumpkins, which they are literally fighting for their lives. Only a couple have made it, so we can replant some of the ones we have. And they might not make it, and we might just have to cover this back up, but we'll see. We're also gonna do on this side probably like a kale or collard just because we can. And we already got this tarped because the pumpkin's looking crazy. And then quickly, we had the collards and collards, kale on a couple of rows. But we, it ended its season because it's gotten too hot. And so we'll start that again in August or September. This area, David just bush hogged literally like 3 minutes ago, or like 30 minutes ago. And then he is hedge trimming, which I can jump in and help with that after I finish watering. And then we got the beautiful watermelons. Let me see if I can get to them. And this is another area we silage tarped to just suppress the weeds. Get everything chilling. Okay. And the last section of growing, but the favorite is watermelon. Oh, nice. And the bees are loving the flowers. Oh, here's one right here. Look at there. These are yellow watermelons. We planted these, I think, in May. The first one was pretty good. Oh, wow, here's another one. So you really just gotta watch your feet on this for more reasons than one. But yeah, we real pleased with the watermelon. Look at there, there's another one. And so it goes through this whole section. And so he's just clearing out this row right here so we could solid sharp that, but mostly so we could get to this area. And then all in prep, really summer work and fall prep. So, oh look, here's another one. Ooh-wee, 2 in a row. Yeah, so the watermelons may or may not be going crazy. So I'll end it here because my phone is, or the camera is going out and it's time to finish up some work. So thanks for joining for the updated farm tour. Tell the people bye, David. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back for another installment maybe in a couple weeks.